Good morning, Eddie.
Morning, Leslie.
Hey, is anybody in the courtroom?
Yes, Johnny Andrew Cordova is with Joanne right now doing paperwork.
Okay, anybody else?
No, so far just him, and we have 295s that are going to be joining by. That'll be Oscar Rios y Jorge Luis Pérez Adame.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have about 9 o'clock. I'm going to call the criminal docket for LaSalle County. I ask for announcements from the attorneys. I only see one civilian, more people coming in. All right, State versus Oscar Rios.
He's in custody, Your Honor. He should be there on the screen.
All right, Mr. Ernst, Oscar Rios.
I need to confer with Joanne and the state.
State versus Christopher Custer.
Not in the courtroom.
He's not in the courtroom yet.
Your Honor, he's coming. He's having car trouble. I'll check on him in just a second. I'm trying to call him right now.
All right. No show. State versus Jorge Perez Adame.
He
Custody.
is also in custody, Your Honor.
He's in custody, Judge. I need to confer briefly with the state and probation, and then with my client. I believe we can resolve this today.
Johnny Cordova.
He's in the
I believe-
courtroom.
Yeah, he's in the courtroom, Judge. That is for entry of a plea, and I don't see his attorney online yet.
And has the paperwork been completed?
Yes,
It
sir.
has, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, if folks will, and he's in the waiting room. If someone will post in chat, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, Judge, they're working on all that.
Okay, John Paul Gonzalez.
Judge, I believe that's him in the LG Stylo 6 phone. That is for entry of a plea with a reset for a long PSI.
I am here, Your Honor.
Okay, and have you heard from your attorney?
Philip Del Rio, sir.
Yes, have you heard from him?
Yes, sir. I spoke with him earlier this morning. He should be via Zoom as well.
Okay, we'll give him a moment. Thank you. Dania Soto.
Sotelo.
Sotelo,
Judge,
yes.
I don't see her on the screen yet. I texted her the information yesterday afternoon.
I just
we can
admitted
resolve
her.
that.
Oh, there she is.
Marker present.
We'll confer.
Okay, that's it.
Miss Poppy, could I get into a breakout room with Joanne, Kyle, and Richard?
Yes, Judge, can you give me that capability? Okay, you just did. Thank you.
All right. Okay, and Mr. Well, he went away. Strauss was here. And here he comes back again. Okay. All right.
Good morning.
And Cordova is present in the courtroom, I believe.
He is, Your Honor. Good morning. This is Aldous Strouch's attorney. Cordova is there, Judge. He checked in with me this morning.
All right. I'll mark you conferring.
Thank you. Well, we're ready for a plea, Your Honor, when the court is.
Okay, I'm ready when I get the paperwork.
Thank you, Judge.
It should be there in just a few minutes, Judge. Sonia's working on it.
Okay.
And Your Honor, we have an announcement on Oscar Rios.
Yes.
So Your Honor, the only allegations left on Mr. Rios MTR had to deal with payments. So conferred with probation in the state, and they've agreed to terminate him unsat. And they're getting the order together, and we'll present it when it's ready.
All right, thanks. All right, Mr. Del Rio, your client, John Paul Gonzalez, is present in the courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor, just one
He
moment.
actually is in the car.
He's actually in the car.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, we're here on to enter a cold plea. I've emailed the district clerk the plea packet. And I'm not sure if that's been printed out and presented to you yet, Your Honor.
Okay, well, it needs just to be emailed on or posted to me in chat because I'm in Floresville, not Cotulla this morning.
Yeah, we're getting it ready, Judge. It's just the judgment. We need a fingerprint on it.
Okay.
Is the defendant here in Cotulla?
No, is this going to be an open plea or is it all settled, Mr. Del Rio?
It's an open, Your Honor.
All right, yes, so we don't need a thumbprint because there won't be a judgment today.
Okay. Then we'll send you the information.
Thank you.
Jennifer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I need a breakout room with the jail, Jorge Perez Adame.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back more or less. For those of you who haven't been following the saga of my computer, I'm going to drive it to Jordanton today and just dump it at the IT guy's office. I know he's on vacation because I've given up. I'm on my old laptop because my personal laptop had an issue and I took it to a computer place in Jordanton and they took it from having a keyboard issue where several keys didn't work to where it won't even boot up. So I'm in my old laptop, which was my backup. And I found out when I put it back into service that the integrated camera's messed up. So the reason you don't see me is that I have to sit next to it to be able to get my face into the camera shot because the camera is screwed up. So whatever documents were posted to me that my computer crashed when I tried to download them from chat, if y'all would repost them, I would appreciate it.
Okay, Judge, we'll get them to you.
Mr. Briggs, your client showed up, the last one on the docket, Daniela Sotelo. Or she came back in, I guess you should say.
She just sent one of them, Judge. I think she just posted it. Or both of them.
Thank you. Okay, and where is Mr. Cordova?
He should be in the courtroom, Your Honor.
All right, if I can get the district clerk's office to go ahead and take his verification and get me a copy of it, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, Judge.
Miss Leslie, I sent you that dismissal via email for you to sign.
Okay, let me check my email.
Okay, thanks.
Judge, do you want the whole packet resent or just the verification page?
Just the pay verification page, please.
Okay, thank you. It's on its way.
Right, calling State versus Johnny Cordova.
State's ready, Your Honor.
For the defense.
Morning, Your Honor.
All right, and where's Mr. Cordova?
It's in the courtroom, Judge.
All right, are you John or Johnny Cordova?
Yes.
And is Johnny Andrew Cordova your true and correct name?
Yes.
Cordova, can you speak, read, and write the English language?
Yes.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
Right. Despite your representation that you are a United States citizen, I need to caution you that if that is not true, any plea of guilty by you or finding of guilt by me could result in your deportation or exclusion from this country and/or a denial of naturalization benefits. Do you still wish to enter a plea today? All right, and I'm just explaining to you, sir, what the consequences would be if you are not, in fact, a U.S. citizen.
Okay, yes.
So do you still wish to enter a plea today? Do you have any history of mental illness or mental health problems?
No.
Counsel, do you believe your client is competent to stand trial?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, sir. You stand charged by indictment with the state jail felony offense of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Specifically, it's alleged that in Lasa County, Texas, on or about October 8th, 2019, that you intentionally or knowingly operated a motor-propelled vehicle, an automobile, without the effective consent of Gary Allen Moots, the owner thereof. Again, that alleges a state jail felony, which is punishable by confinement for not less than 180 days and not more than 2 years, and by a fine not to exceed $10,000. So do you understand what you're charged with and what the range of punishment is?
Yes.
You understand that the plea bargain agreement you have with the state is not binding on me. I do not have to follow it, but if I decide not to follow it, I will allow you to withdraw your plea. You understand this, sir? I don't have to go with the deal you and your attorney and the Ms. Carranza have worked out, but if I don't, you get to take your plea back. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
If I do follow the plea bargain that you've worked out with the state and the sentence I impose is not harder on you than what you've agreed to, you understand that you will not be able to appeal this matter.
Yes.
And do you also understand that if your plea bargain is for deferred adjudication probation and I decide to follow it, I will find that there is enough evidence to say you're guilty, but I will not do so. Instead, I will place you on deferred adjudication probation. And if you successfully complete that type of probation, the case against you will be dismissed. You'll have no conviction, and you may be able to get an order of non-disclosure to keep the state from telling anyone other than law enforcement that you were even arrested. On the flip side, if while you're on deferred adjudication probation, the state alleges that you have broken the rules, then you could be arrested and you could be brought back to court. And if it turns out that it's true that you've broken the rules, then you could be found guilty and you could be sentenced to anything that's a legal sentence for a state jail felony. 180 days to 2 years confinement and a fine up to $10,000. You understand?
Yes.
All right, I want to show you some documents that appear to have your signature. They're titled Admonitions to the Defendant for Plea to the Court. Let me ask on paragraph 2.11, is this your signature?
Yes.
And again, where it says verification?
Yes.
The certification of appeal?
Yes.
Agreed punishment recommendations?
Yes.
Waiver of preservation of evidence?
Yes.
And on the discovery certificate?
Yes.
And Judge, if I could just interject to make you feel a little more comfortable, we did cover that at length and he signed in all those places. Pardon the interruption.
All right, thank you. All right. Did you read these documents yourself or did Mr. Strouch read and explain them to you?
Yes. My attorney did go over them with me.
All right. Did you understand these documents before you signed them?
Yes, I did.
And are you satisfied with the work that your attorney has done for you?
Yes.
All right, counsel, do you believe your client understands the nature of the rights he's giving up, the stipulations of evidence he's making, and the consequences of his plea bargain?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, and do you also believe you've received all the discovery you're entitled to in a timely manner?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, I'll find that the defendant made his waivers of right and stipulations of evidence knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily, and I will accept them. And I will also accept the discovery compliance certificate. And I'll ask you, sir, to the offense alleged in the indictment, state jail felony, possession of a controlled, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Responses?
I'm sorry?
I think that was a no contest, Your Honor, that he had entered. Certainly don't want to speak to him, but that's what he and I had talked about.
All right. So what is your plea, Mr. Cordova?
No contest.
All right. And you understand, sir, that a plea of no contest might be different than a plea of guilty if you get into a civil lawsuit about your behavior on October 8th, 2019. Specifically, if Mr. Gary Moots was to sue you for using his automobile without his permission, it might make a difference in that civil lawsuit whether your plea was guilty or no contest, but that for all purposes inside this criminal case, a plea of no contest is the same as a plea of guilty. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Right. Has anyone promised you anything other than your plea bargain with the state to get you to plead no contest?
No.
Has anyone harmed or threatened you or anyone close to you for your plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you an early release from your sentence?
No.
All right, I'll find that you made your plea voluntarily and you're not under any compulsion in making it, and I'll accept it. And I'll ask what evidence the state has to substantiate the defendant's guilt.
State's Exhibit 1 and its attachment A, Your Honor.
And we've reviewed those, Judge. We don't have any objections.
All right, without objection, State's Exhibit 1, its attachment A are admitted into evidence. Give me a chance to look those over. Do both sides rest and close?
Yes, Your Honor.
We do, Judge, and just if the plea is accepted, we were just going to ask that the deferred period begin today, meaning that we didn't need a separate PSI unless the court required one. That I think he's ready to start today, and he's going to follow any and all the deferred conditions. But I, of course, can address you after you've had a chance to look through that.
Okay, that won't be a problem. Let me look at the report.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, I'll find there is enough evidence to substantiate the defendant's guilt. Are both sides ready for sentencing?
State's ready, Your Honor.
We are, Judge.
Okay. And I've also, I believe, been given a PSI. Or no, that was in a different case. I'm sorry. That was
Your PSI was done, and I thought.
John Gonzalez, not Johnny Cordova. Okay, thank you. No, actually, it says PSI John Andrew Cordova.
Yes, Judge, one was done. I just didn't send it to the attorney or to the ADA because it was just scanned and put in a chat.
All right, let me ask you to go ahead and post a copy to Mr. Strauss right quick so we can have a chance to look at it.
Thank you, Judge.
Arturo, can you do that from your end?
I'll let Sonia to post it.
Or I can do it.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Oh, Mr. Strauss, are you on a tablet or a phone?
I am on an iPad, Your Honor.
All right, it's not giving me the opportunity to send you a file.
I'm sorry about that. If the state wants to email it to me eventually, I would just say that the conditions and terms that you order, he's going to follow. He realizes and feels very fortunate to have been offered this deferred. I think he's an ideal candidate for it. He realizes he's going to need to follow any recommendations that drug evaluation concludes and that you order. He knows that he can make some payments, but that his fine and court costs are going to be expected to be paid in a timely way, that he can't get arrested, that he needs to report. He's on a short leash, frankly, is what I've told him. He understands the deferred is no conviction, no finding of guilt, but any little slip up, he can be right there back in front of you and exposed to that full range of punishment. So I think he's the ideal candidate for the deferred. And the PSI is a guideline, obviously, for you, and we would defer to your judgment anyway. I'd like to see it, but I'm not going to have it hold anything up. Barring, you saying, well, he needs to do 10 days jail as a sanction. That's something that we would have an issue with, and we would hope that you wouldn't order, obviously. But he's going to report regularly. He's going to stay off drugs. I don't think he's a drug user. I've talked to him, 10, 12 times during the course of this case. He's very respectful of me. He shows up for his appointments. He comes to my office when I've asked him to. And I think you're going to find that he's the same with the court and with the deferred adjudication officer. And he really wants to get this behind him. And we hope that you'll go along with the plea that we've agreed to with the state of Texas.
All right, sir. All right. All right, anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Okay, I will follow the plea bargain agreement. I just need to ask, is there any claim for restitution for Mr. Moots?
No, Your Honor, and I haven't put the plea agreement on the record yet. Do you want
Okay,
me to?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Read it. Okay, what is the plea bargain agreement in this case?
The plea bargain agreement, Your Honor, is 3 years deferred adjudication and a fine of $1,500. There's court costs in the amount of $249, 200 hours of community service. There's a one-time drug test fee of $50, education, drug, and alcohol evaluation and follow all recommendations, and a monthly probation fee of $60 per month.
And Your Honor, that is our understanding of the agreement. That's what Mr. Cordova has signed off on and agreed to. And that was the evaluation recommendations I was referring to. And I said that he's going to follow whatever it is you order that comes as a result of all that in-depth testing, if you will. So I think he's a good candidate for it and he will follow. That's our understanding of the agreement.
All right. And Mr. Cordova, is that your agreement?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then I will follow the plea bargain agreement in this case. I found there's enough evidence to say you're guilty, but I will not do so. Instead, I'll place you on deferred adjudication probation for 3 years. Keep in mind my warning to you that if you do everything that you're supposed to do, the case will be dismissed, but that if the state alleges that you're breaking the rules, then you could be arrested and brought back to court, and there would be a hearing on just that issue. Were you breaking the rules? And if the answer to that turns out to be yes, then you could be found guilty and sentenced to anything that is a legal sentence for a state jail felony, which is 180 days to 2 years confinement, and a fine not to exceed $10,000. All right, you understand, sir, that because I have followed the plea bargain agreement in this case, that you have waived the right to appeal and you may not appeal?
Yes.
Okay, I'll find that you made your post-trial waivers knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily, and I will approve them. And I will also find that, or certify to the Court of Appeals that this is a plea bargain case and you've waived the right to appeal and do not have the right to appeal. All right, I wish you good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor, for hearing the case.
Your Honor,
And I just posted the papers to the district clerk. Yes, sir, Mr. Roberts.
I need to go across the street to a hearing. Katie's going to stay here with you and see when Mr. Custer shows up. He's on his way. He's in Dilly. I've been talking to him, but I can't tell you what time he's going to get there.
All right, thank you, sir.
If that's all.
All right, John Paul Gonzalez is next.
Yes, sir. That should, if they've sent you the plea pack, that will be a entry of a plea and then a reset to May 27th for sentencing.
All right, and where is Mr. Gonzalez?
He is, he's
am
on
here, Your
the
Honor.
screen, yes.
On screen.
Judge, before we get started real quick, is everyone's chat working? Mine says it got disabled.
No, it's not working, Leslie.
Okay, it's not just me then.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I just sent a chat test. Did anyone receive it?
I see it.
I see it, Judge.
But nobody can reply.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, when I click, it won't let me do anything.
Coordinator can reply, but she's the host.
Yeah, I can't. I can see it, but I can't respond to you.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
There it goes. It's back there.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
All right, and hey, Mr. Gonzalez, are you in a back seat? Are you driving?
No, Your Honor, I'm actually currently at work. I broke to come and sit in my vehicle so I could have the court hearing. I'm not driving. The vehicle's not moving, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you sign these documents electronically?
Yes, sir.
I'm just wondering, it looks like everyone signed them electronically. Is that correct?
I know I did, Judge.
Yes, Your
Yes.
Honor, I did as well.
So how is it that I have a copy that is illegible in large extent because it's been printed and photocopied or scanned so many times when everybody signed it electronically?
Mm.
I don't know.
I have no idea, Your Honor. I wouldn't.
All right, let me ask the district clerk's office, did you just post an electronic copy that you received back, or was this printed out there?
We printed it out this morning. That's the one that was on my email this morning.
And I'm looking at that one, Judge, on my screen, and I can see it's a little blurry, but it may be distorted more once it gets printed out, because it is legible on the computer.
All right, I'm gonna ask the clerk's office another time if, one, it's more labor to go through the intermediate step of printing it out, picking it up, and then running it through the scanner. And two, you lose quality. Is this a deferred adjudication or it's an open plea?
Yes, sir. It's an open plea to a state jail felony.
All right. Are you John Paul Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
All right, and again, I'm going to ask the district clerk's office. I guess, are you still doing paper files as well as electronic files?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and for your electronic copy, do you print this out and then scan it back in?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's chat before in a breakout room today.
Okay.
All right, you are John Paul Gonzalez. Is that your true and correct name?
Well, it's Juan Pablo Gonzalez on my birth certificate, sir.
Okay. What says the state?
Your Honor, if his name is Juan Pablo Gonzalez, we'd ask for an oral amendment to change it to reflect his correct name.
All right. Is there any objection from the defense?
Objection, Your Honor.
And do you have an electronic copy of the indictment there, Ms. Carranza?
I don't, Your Honor. I have what I sent to the district clerk's office.
Okay, because I think I have a copy on, oh, by an electronic copy, I mean just a scan.
I just have the email that I sent, yes.
Okay.
And it should have gone to you. Everything I have is what should have been sent to you.
Okay, because then all right. I tell you what, this is just an open plea.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me just go ahead and order the plea bargain, the PSI report, a long PSI report.
Okay.
And whenever we have that set, we can get a different set of plea papers.
Okay.
With the correct name and have them more readable.
Okay, and we're requesting May 27th, Judge, and so we'll all be back in person anyway.
Sounds good.
Okay.
It's 2 years in a row I've missed the black brush in bloom driving down to LaSalle, so it'll be all gone by then.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll order a long precedence investigation report. All right, Mr. Gonzalez, I have not at this time read any offense reports or anything, and I will not until we do our plea bargain, until we do the final hearing. I will let you know, however, an open plea is just that. The judge would have the right to do anything from, I guess, theoretically finding you not guilty to finding you guilty and sentencing you to the maximum penalty. And you're charged with a third-degree felony of 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. There is also, yes.
I'm sorry. It's only to the state jail.
Only to the state jail. Okay.
It's a 2-count indictment. Yes, sir.
You're pleading only to the state jail. you could be sentenced to anywhere from 180 days to 2 years confinement. So you're going to have to be in touch with the probation officer. The probation officer will prepare a long report about you, the circumstances of this offense, and your circumstances. It's been better recently, but I went through a period of a number of months where it seems about half the time, whenever we reset somebody to have a long pre-sentence investigation prepared, when we came back to court, what the probation officer said was the defendant never got in touch with me. Okay. You're going to be giving Mr. Del Rio very little to work with in asking for a favorable disposition of this case if you come back into court and the indication I have is that you won't even report to probation when you haven't been placed on probation and you're looking at a potential time in prison instead. So make sure that you cooperate with the probation officer, all right?
Do I need to contact her myself?
They'll be in touch with you, but just meet with them, whether it's in person or over the phone or over the internet. They'll get in touch with you. They don't play tricks. They're not, it's not where they make one phone call and if you don't answer it, they say he didn't cooperate. They'll work with you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'll reset this for the 26th.
Your Honor, do they have his telephone number?
That's what I was just gonna ask, if we could be put into a breakout room so I can get his address and his phone number, and then that way I can send him a letter and a date to come and see me in person.
All right, I'll ask Miss Poppy to do that.
Thank you.
And Judge, it's 527.
Oh, 27, okay.
Yeah, you said 26.
I'm not doing a docket right now because I had to switch computers.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
What else do we have? Oscar Rios?
Mr. Rios, we just sent you the MTR, or Miss Gonzalez was sending you the MTR dismissal. And then I am going to check my email right now for a dismissal and extension on Jorge Luis Perez Adame, and I will sign that and send it back to Miss Gonzalez. Mr. Cordova was the plea. Mr. Gonzalez is 527, and then Mr. Briggs posted in the chat for his client Daniela Sotelo, the 427, 512, and 621. And the only thing left is Mr. Custer.
Hello.
Yeah, Your Honor, may I be excused on Mr. Rios?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. See y'all later.
Bye, Kyle.
All right, I just posted the dismissal to everyone.
Okay, and I just signed the dismissal on Mr. Jorge Luis Perez Adame, so Joanne should be sending that shortly.
Okay, and I just sent Joanne the Cordova plea.
Got it, okay. I think that's it, other than Mr. Custer.
All right, and Ms. Roberts, are you there? Right. So have we heard from Mr. Custer?
I have not, Your Honor. I know that my dad spoke to him before he left for court. I don't know what transpired.
All right. Mr. Custer, claimed he was in. All right, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to mute you.
Judge, I'm already done talking to Mr. Gonzalez, so he's free to go.
Okay, you're free to go, sir. All right, so what says the state on Mr. Custer?
Your Honor, the state's going to be asking for a NICI on Mr. Custer. I'm sure the court's aware that, I mean, we were just there last week
Yes.
when he was admonished by the court. I was there. You told him he had to return today at 9 a.m. The court started at 9, that he needed to make an appearance, and he hasn't made an appearance either in the courtroom nor via Zoom.
Okay, so I'll ask the NICI to be called and posted in chat, and I will sign it.
Okay. Judge, I think that's all we have. Jennifer, did you get all the notes? You did? Okay.
Let me ask you to hang on just until I sign the NICI, and then we'll
Okay,
do the
no
meeting.
problem. I think we're done with LaSalle County Jail if they're ready to get off. Thank you.
And Ms. Poppy, can you give me a breakout room with Art, the district clerk's office? Is that them rushing forward to say Mr. Custer's here? No.
Could be, could be.
All right, I'll come back in just a moment.
Did Art get off of here, Judge, before you leave?
Oh,
Too late.
too late.
Leslie, I
Yep.
sent that amended order to the jail to have the defendant sign it, so I'm just waiting for them to send it back to me.
It's fine. You got my signed
Yes.
dismissal, right? Okay.
Yeah, so we're good. And then the other one, the order to dismiss, to close out the actual case, we'll just e-file that to the judge.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I think all the paperwork's done.
Great.
I'm gonna go get that kid. They haven't sent you anything? They haven't sent you the dismissal? Okay. Yeah, I gotta check and see.
Okay, I have returned, and when I left, I didn't have access to the breakout rooms as co-host, but now I do. The mysteries of Zoom. Okay. If that, all right, so I'll wait for that nice side to get here. Did Mr. Custer make his payments?
I don't think so, Judge. Joanne got off. I know she would have told me if he had, because then this probably wouldn't be as big a deal. I know he paid like $40 last week and still owed some, like 400, but
Yeah, he was 455. What does she need me to do?
I don't know, ask her. Just ask her.
Sonia, what do you need? Y'all are not needed.
Sorry, it's me, Joanne. I'm in
Oh.
the clerk's office. I just heard my name, so I was gonna see what you needed.
What I needed was, did Mr. Custer pay any more money than he did last week?
No.
That's what I thought. Okay. And the nice size posted on chat, Judge. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, I just downloaded it.
Okay.
And Sonia is going to be sending you the dismissal on Perez.
Thank you.
I never want to talk to you until you walk away. I know, right?
Okay, I just posted the Custer nice eye. I'll wait for the Perez dismissal. Yeah, in fact, I specifically remember last week, I emphasized to Mr. Custer that if my computer was functioning properly, court would have been over and there would have been a nice eye out for him.
Yep. And you specifically told him that he had to come to court, like he could not appear via Zoom.
Okay, I just posted that dismissal.
Okay.
I ask you to go ahead and open it up because a lot of times documents get corrupted when we send them across Zoom. All right, were you able to open those up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to leave. I will see you folks soon.
Thank you, Judge. Bye.
Yes?
Thank you.
Okay, all right, bye-bye.